Welcome to the Lancaster City Council meeting. Call it to order.
City Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Members Hughes Leslie, absent. Molly.
Present.
Mann.
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Christ.
Present.
Mayor, Chairman Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Do we have someone doing the invocation? Sean Cannon, our newest school board member, who's on the rise. Get up here and give us a prayer, would you? And congratulations.
Thank you. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this afternoon to thank you. Thank you for the leaders that you have appointed in our valley to help us into the future. We ask that you give us understanding and grace and wisdom as we move forward about the people's business, together in unity, one nation, under you, indivisible. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Want to do the pledge?
Sure. Please remain standing. Place your hand over your heart and repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. City Manager, anything to be removed from the consent calendar?
We have nothing.
Nothing? Any speaker cards on the consent calendar?
None.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll move that we accept the consent calendar as currently comprised.
Is
I'll
there-
second that motion.
Let's vote. And it passes unanimously. Let's excuse Lauren Hughes Leslie's absence. She is on vacation.
Second.
Let's vote. All
Aye.
in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No? Okay. It's unanimous. New business item 1. Who's addressing? Huh?
George.
George?
No speaker cards.
He needs the practice.
I need to practice. You always leave me at my chair, and I never get a chance to address you. I actually appreciate the opportunity, so thank you. Before you on new business number 1 is an item to approve a third amendment to the amended and restated JPA agreement between the City of Lancaster, Palmdale, and County of Los Angeles for the Antelope Valley Transit Authority. The three parts of the recommendation is to approve the amendment. Second part is to appropriate $480,000 to the account listed out of the Prop A money to assist with the increased payment. And third, authorize the city manager or his designee to negotiate, finalize, and execute the agreement amendment and all future amendments in a form to be approved by the city attorney. I would continue, but I feel like I'd be stealing the thunder for the vice mayor who helped negotiate this transaction, and it's actually really, really important transaction that is going to help us long term as well as the district. So, with that, I'll turn it over.
Thank you. Before you sit down, did you guys know that under George's watch, our credit rating has now reached just under the federal government? We could not have a better bond rating. Isn't that correct?
For local government, yes, it is very good.
That is a phenomenal thing because it saves us millions and millions of dollars in interest payments. And that is an incredible accomplishment that, unfortunately, the way life works is people never really understand that stuff or acknowledge it. But I want you to know this council does. We have lived in periods of time where our rating was much, much lower. And for you to have brought it to that level is fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Did you want to say something?
No, I was just saying that.
Did you want to answer your phone?
Okay, I owe you that. I'm good.
You're good? Okay, is there a motion?
Motion to accept NB 1, 1, 2, and 3.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Let's vote. And it passes unanimously. NB2? So, Rod, I'm having trouble understanding the governor's executive order. So I'd like you to explain it to a 6-year-old so I can understand it.
Well, I'll just start by telling you that I think the state's trying to catch up to us here at our city, because,
Could you make that mic hotter?
yeah, I'll just start by saying I think the state's trying to catch up to us here at our city and what we've been doing now for several years. So, as you know, sir, July 25th, 2024, Governor Newsom passed Executive Order N-124 and directing all state agencies to implement plans for removal of homeless encampments from state lands. And he also encouraged local governments to adopt policies consistent with that order and to take action with urgency and compassion to deal with this crisis. So state agencies in LA County, as they begin to implement these orders, it's imperative that we are prepared and have plans and procedures in place that will protect us from possible increases in homelessness from those cities and other entities that haven't been doing what we've been doing. So additionally, the governor also told agencies they must comply with this order or they run the risk of loss of state funds for essential services and programs. In reviewing this order, I'm happy to tell you that we are absolutely meeting the governor's expectations, and we have been for quite some time now. Our current procedures have been in place for several years, and our ordinance related to addressing encampments in critical infrastructure areas was just recently updated last year. So let me show you exactly what the governor was looking for. So he wants to ensure that these entities are doing site assessments, or in other words, going in and taking a look at these sites and determining whether or not they need to be removed and what the circumstances are that exist in them. He also wanted to implement a 48-hour notice before removing property, so those entities have to go in, or the enforcement entities have to go in and give them a 48-hour notice and then go back and clean and have the homeless removed. Provisions for exigent circumstances, which basically are critical infrastructure sites or areas where there could be dangers or safety hazards, and there's a need for immediate removal. And that service providers are also involved in these processes. And lastly, he wants to ensure that the entities are using a 60-day storage of personal property that may be left behind.
So would that include the dirty needles they leave behind and the dirty syringes they leave behind? And I mean, how do we determine what's personal property with?
So we here at the city, we look for items that have some type of particular value to it. And we're definitely not going to take needles or trash or anything that's soiled or could be hazardous.
Thank you.
So this is what we are doing and what we have been doing for a few years now. So we do assessments almost immediately. Our team has been fantastic. Once they find out that there is an encampment, they go out and do an assessment, and that includes determining if there's special needs there, so we can bring the correct service providers, environmental concerns, and also safety hazards, not just for the officers, but also for the community. We currently give a 7-day notice. I will be telling you we're going to bring that down to 72 hours within our policy, starting immediately. And regarding the critical infrastructure, as mentioned last year, we updated our ordinance 12.28, which is about protecting our critical infrastructures, and we have the ability to move the homeless out immediately if there is a threat or a safety concern or some hazard to health. As far as service providers, as you know, we have a services unit within the police department, and those folks have established great relationships, including with LASA and others. But also, we are currently working on hiring individuals that will go out with each of our teams, and they will develop those personal relationships with the service providers so that even while we're doing assessments, we can provide services if we find that individual that says, yes, I need help now. And we can get it there immediately instead of making a call and waiting for that person to come in from the service provider and find them. So, and lastly, we currently do a 90-day storage of personal property. And there hasn't been many issues with that because most of your homeless individuals take the things of value with them. And our teams are trained to say, hey, are you sure you didn't want to take that, when they see something that's there that they possibly should have taken with them.
Why can't we just ask them?
I'm sorry?
Just ask them, is this your personal property you want to keep?
And that's it. That's exactly what we do.
And then we can dump the rest, right?
That's exactly what we do. I mean, while they're there, we're telling them to take everything. But those items we see that we even think might be of value, we're telling that individual, hey, don't leave that. What about that guitar right there? You know, you want to take that with you. So.
What if they identify everything as a personal item?
So we're not going to honor items that are not of some particular value or of a value. So an individual may point to a bag of trash. So we're not going to store a bag of trash. Also, I want to tell you that items that may be contaminated with human waste, they can be items of value, and if it's contaminated with human waste or some other hazardous material, we're not going to store that either. We do record the sites when we go out and when we leave. So we get a video recording so that we can document exactly what was there and what was left. And then changes that we're making, and actually we were considering these changes. One of them we were already working on council's direction. So the first is the 72-hour. We're going to take that week and bring it down to 72 hours notice and go with that. And we're adding 2 more homeless teams, which is wonderful, and that's at council's direction. So we're going to have 2 more 6-man teams that will go out and do this, go out and address encampments and try to bring service providers to the homeless that are interested in.
Are all those people paid employees?
Yes, we're gonna hire additional part-time employees.
Enormous expense.
True, yes, sir. Many hours. We spend many hours addressing these. I apologize, I don't have the number of encampments that we've serviced. We'll be sending something to you, but over the past quarter, I think it was 167 sites that we had to visit regarding homeless encampments.
Last year, the removal of trash alone was $3.4 million.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it is a big drain on our resources and time and funds. So I am happy to say that we feel like we're seeing a decrease in the numbers out there, and we really believe that's a direct result of the men and women we have going out and doing things and trying to address these sites. In fact, you probably won't like it, but Josh Wagner over there is a supervisor of that team, and they do incredible work, and they deal with quite a few issues that I'm glad they're skilled at in communication and de-escalation and other things. So, and I got to also thank the Sheriff's Department because they are a big part of helping us do this safely. So, let's go. Well, the next slide, there it is. So at council's direction, staff will ensure our operating procedures and policies will remain in conformance with the governor's executive order N-1-24. We're proud of the fact that we've been there and that we're already have the things in place that these other cities are about to begin. But we are super conscious of the fact that to steal a phrase from the city manager, the water balloon effect, where you squeeze one side and it's going to spill out somewhere. So we're conscious of the fact that we have to be prepared for any possible increases in our area. That's all I have for you today. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Today, a homeless woman stepped in front of a train, is that right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
When I read that, I read your text, and you know, I couldn't imagine the horror of being in that environment if I was a woman, you know? I'd like to have you develop a policy and procedure how we can prioritize services to single women. Can we do that?
Yes, sir, understood.
I think that it's incumbent upon us to recognize that they are particularly at risk and act accordingly.
Yes, sir, we'll get working on that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions?
I have a question for Trelise. I know we send the county 7.1 million. Can you remind me of how much they send back?
Last year was the highest number that we received back, and it was 1.4 million.
Okay.
And they do it unapologetically. That's what, it's like because we can, we will, you know? Beyond me. Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve NB2.
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. It passes unanimously. Moving on to council reports. We'll have a video recap of the AV Alta FC Stadium. What does FC stand for?
Football club.
Football Club, okay. The groundbreaking, right? The Antelope Valley is a place of firsts, you know, we do aircraft, first in everything, right? Soccer's ready to explode. We all know that, you know, it's just gonna pop, and it's gonna pop here. We're gonna be competing against other cities, but it's gonna be Palmdale and Lancaster competing together. Stay tuned, but make sure you're here for the first game.
I actually didn't ever imagine this night. I've imagined a lot of things, but I feel like it's bigger than me or any individual, and I'm just super happy to see it come to life. It's amazing. We're a community-based team. On and off the field, it's not just the right thing to do, but it's our business model. We're going to identify local talent. We're going to get them on the field. And we just want the whole community to come out and feel welcome and believe that this is their team.
The overall impact is going to be tremendous. I want to give a huge shout out to our 661. What incredible supporters we have. If you haven't joined, join soon.
Thank you. Okay, Lancaster Housing Authority, no action. Financing Authority, no action. Lancaster Power Authority, no.
Skip the council reports.
Isn't that further down? No. Sorry.
That's okay.
Did you want to do the meeting?
Sure. I got nothing.
Lancaster.
Mayor Paris, I have
That
actually
was
something. Mayor, I actually have something.
Okay, good.
So month of September is a preparedness month. So remember we used to have Ready Lancaster program. So we're thinking about bringing back and just keep our community for preparedness for all the, you know, fire and rain and flood and all those things. So we're gonna have the program, but we used to do churches and everybody, but now we're gonna just blast on social media and you know, just everywhere, like on the TV, but make sure people build their own what do you call the kits, emergency
Earthquake
kits. Yeah, but usually we can buy from the stores, but those are not that good. So we were in the city of Lancaster last time. We were like building our own, so they can have everything in there, food, waters, and.
So do we sell them?
No, I think last time we gave away. We didn't sell them. But we just show them how to do it.
Oh, we show,
Yeah, so next month, this is what we're trying to do.
will you
It's one-
show me? Because I bought mine from Amazon.
No, but you can use that and also add more stuff with it
Okay, great.
and keep it ready in your truck or wherever. So that's what we're gonna do next month.
You guys know what you need to make certain you have for an earthquake? Shoes next to your bed.
Yeah.
People get up and cut their feet, just because they didn't have sandals or something. Or you can have a wife like mine who gets mad that I left my shoes out. Anyone else? Thank you.
Want to talk about the strategic planning? We're doing strategic planning at the city, and we're doing strategic planning at the fair. We're ongoing strategic planning at ABTA, so we're always moving to see what's the best way to do it. So it was pretty amazing at the city. It was well received.
Thank you. Anyone, what were you planning?
What is it called when you take over the next guys?
The succession?
Succession.
Succession?
The succession.
I think that's
Please,
part of that.
please.
No. I don't want you.
I'm ready to go. Okay. City manager, you have any announcements?
Yes, I have a few announcements, and I did want to hit on the strategic planning effort a little bit more. First and foremost, I wanted to thank the mayor for your encouragement and your urging us to bring on an executive consultant to come in and look at really what we're doing and re-envision, reimagine local government and what we can do for the community and how we can better serve this council. So I think we've done that. I want to give big hats off to our entire executive team. They really bought into the whole process. I think we got a lot of value out of that. As a team, we came closer together. We presented that to the vice mayor and the mayor, what I want to say 2 weeks ago. Got your feedback on it. You got to tell us where we were off, where we were in the right direction. It really gives us now the main goals and priorities of where we are going to go as an organization over the course of the next couple of years, all centered around these main, what we're calling unifying principles. So it was creating a feeling of safety, creating a sense of community, and creating upward mobility, with the priorities being safety, jobs, education, and healthcare. So we've now done that. We have our main goals. We know what our marching orders are, and over the course of the next year, we're going to start moving those goals forward. And I think the transformation you're going to see in this community for our residents and for this council are going to be amazing. So hats off to the team for buying into this process and allowing us to put our imprint on this as new leadership of the city. So, and thank you again, Mayor, for your urging to get that done.
Thank you. I was astonished how well you embraced that and redesigned how we govern this city. It was impressive. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then a couple quick updates. So one of the main goals there that we hit on was safety. So our Lancaster PD, they are in their police station now. I believe we have offers out to 6 officers now, so we are hiring. And we're still hiring, so if you know of any applicants or you're listening now, please apply. We're looking for more qualified police officers. We did conduct an illegal cannabis operation, I believe, last Wednesday, correct, Rod? With many more to come. Shut down a party house this past week that's been bothering a neighborhood for a couple years, so good job to the team there. Parks team, a couple of big events coming up, and I want to remind folks of the new location. So one of my kids' favorite events is the Hana at the Hangar. This year it's not going to be at the Hangar because that's being remodeled, as we saw in the video that we had. So that's moving over to the soccer center. That'll be on October 19th. And then Fields of Draft, one of my favorite events, is moving over to the AV Event Center, or the AV Fair and Event Center. So that'll be the first time that it's there this year. So excited to see that event. And then a remodel that we were all at, and we got to go do the ribbon cutting on that about 6 months ago, And really, it was fun. I know the mayor was there. We got to watch the school kids come over from the neighboring elementary school at Mariposa Park. Well, that is now finished, and we will be ribbon cutting that facility on September 4th, so next week. So exciting news there. And that concludes my updates.
Thank you. City Clerk.
This is the time to address the City Council Agency Authority on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards may be found on the back table of the council chambers. If you have completed a speaker card, please ensure you have placed it in the basket so you may be recognized. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Please keep in mind, state law prohibits the council from acting on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the city manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Ramona Russman.
Hi, I'm Ramona Russell. I know I only have 3 minutes. I still have answers. You never did answer me last time. I know I can't say it all in 3 minutes, but as a mayor, you should be concerned about your district, that
Could you wait till you get to the microphone?
that we're
Because I
being
can't hear you.
we're being accused of old crimes that have already, people had done served time on, that they're trying to bring up through these nanobots, nanoelectronics that have been put in us. Yours was over there at the site at the Jethawks Drive parking lot. Those are your nanobots you got in us with the test kits, okay? Because you gave out little $20 gift cards. Yeah, I'm from Kensington campus. I went to school out here. And the people that don't think he don't have anything to do with the Kensington campus, the people concerned, it's his project. He sort of shunned it off the last time I asked. I'm still being, okay, I'm gonna make it short. I watched the debate, and did they not once speak about anybody on fixed income? They only cared about the middle class and up. And I know it's both sides, the Democrats and the Republicans. And one of them spoke about some kind of secret prisons. And I thought, it makes sense to me. We're all this out here is your secret prison, Mayor. Can I place the mayor under citizen's arrest? And when do I have to show up in court tomorrow?
Talk to you outside about it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm not gonna come here, I'm not gonna put in a, I don't know, some kind of request before I sue you. Okay, and your puppets. I've been brutally abused by an MK Ultra energy weapon. I have other witnesses there. Okay, in many of these buildings, there's no such thing as somebody being strangled, self-strangulation, that doesn't happen. You pass out first. But I got the joy to experience the Arbor Court Apartments managers and their messed up maintenance electrician that knows how to manipulate energy. You act like you don't know what's going on. You know everything that's going on, and so does Chris. So I was here at one of those meetings that you didn't turn in one of the notes to our district attorney. I was here at one of those meetings when you had enough nerve to chuckle up there and make a joke about, oh, like Hawaii. Maybe other people don't know about it, but I know the significance of what happened out there. The whole town goes up and it was nooked. And oh, another question, how come I'm smelling and tasting helium? I've never tasted that before. How come I'm smelling and tasting helium? And how come all of my friends and neighbors are under some kind of hypnosis drug? And then how come when I was at Kensington campus and I only had asthma, why was I let in there when there was other people that had more serious conditions, why they were homeless? I was homeless, okay? I was homeless. But you know what? I lived on many sides of the fence. I'm a truthful person. I'm a truth teller. My birthday's July 13, 1966. I stand behind all my good, bad, and ugly, and I'm not ugly. My ugly's even good. I'm not out here defecating on the streets. I'm not out here having sex on the corners in broad daylight. It seems to happen to come from the nationality has a little bit of a darker tone. We have a hate crime going on, and our mayor don't want to do nothing about it. And it's from Global Alliance Protection. They don't protect. Is that your private gang, Mayor?
Thank you.
Is that your gang?
Thank you.
Because all over the nation, wherever they are, this is happening all over the nation. I know officers have their own gang, but is that your private gang? They seem to have the
Thank you.
description of the smash and grab. They don't protect us, they abuse us. Okay, thank you. Won't be done. They want to see you out of the trash. And nobody's gonna follow those rules.
Mr. Cannon, that's going to be a tough act to follow, but I'm sure you can do it.
All right. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. My name is Sean Cannon, and I'm one of those people with a slightly darker tone. So I'm going to be pretty brief. I'm pleased to report that the Antelope Valley Education Alliance Community Attendance Assistance Program is fully up and running at Lancaster High School, Eastside High School, and Antelope Valley High School. These past couple of weeks, I got to see it in action, and it actually is going pretty well. Even in the first few weeks, we have hundreds of contacts with students. We have 2 new educational life coaches working directly with school staff to get to the root causes of chronic absenteeism. I'm looking forward to conversations with other districts about joining the Alliance, and so that we can implement vertical alignment, which is combining those efforts at this high school level, at the primary school level, so that we can get to the root causes of absenteeism there. On a programming note, our youth program, Youth for Justice, is scheduled for this November 14th and 15th at the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds, and we're going to give a shout out to the Lancaster Police Department and their team for all their help. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. No, you can. David Paul. Now, David, before you say anything, I want you to remember that I know everything.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, good afternoon. Yes, Mayor, that was the one thing I took most note of during the speech, and I hoped it was true. But here we are. You know, I long for the olden days. In the early 80s, I worked for the Menominee Sheriff's Department in Upper Peninsula, Michigan, and when we had an undesirable come through town, we would just put them in the back of the car, drive less than a mile over the river into Wisconsin, and drop them off. So those days are gone, but, you know, I just love what you guys do. I mean, I'm always impressed with how well the city is handling these things. But in the discussion, and I know this is the ambiguity of the state's, you know, request. I mean, there's not a lot of answers in there. And I have always thought for years, I mean, we need somewhere to put people. Now, this is a dual-edged sword, because okay, hold on. If we could actually have some sort of future model that other communities could replicate, we would draw attention to our success and be in a better position to fight for some of the dollars that are going to solving these problems. You know, you remember Scarface, and it starts with the Mariel boat lift, and 100,000 people invaded Miami, and they had to put them under an underpass and make communities, and it worked out pretty well in regard to how bad it could have been. So that's always where we're at. We have to find some place, and it has to be, you know, I mean, I'm sitting here listening, and how are we going to do with it? Are we going to get more people, take them to the already overburdened agencies? I mean, you all know I respect what our groups do here, but they're overburdened already. And who thinks that this problem is going to get better? It's going to get worse. I hope it doesn't, but it seems like it's not going to get better before it gets worse. So that would be the only thing I would want to see. You remember Tina Turner in Beyond Thunderdome, the Mad Max last movie, and in the movie she's asked, she was in charge of Bartertown, and they asked her, who were you before this? And she says, no one. And so if we can get a community where people can self-organize, leaders emerge, and really, we're overwhelmed. There is nowhere for people to go. So if you're going to move them out of somewhere, at least as a citizen, I would like to understand where are they going to go? And just make it a little more clear for me. Otherwise, thank you. I love what you do. We're going to keep fighting this, and we do have to have some measure of compassion. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, David. You know, could you imagine the agony that woman lives under? You know, I mean, it makes us so uncomfortable, we laugh. But the truth of it is, I couldn't imagine it, you know, every single waking moment. We are putting a lot of money into mental health programs, and Catherine Barger has opened up the urgent care for mental health. We're making progress, but I think I said enough. Is it late? I'll do it anyway. Vanita Hall? Just so everybody knows, in the future, the cards have to come in before we start. And the reason for that is I'm a control freak and I want to control the order.
I'm sorry about that, but
That's
this
okay.
is my first time
Sure.
coming to the meeting. I ain't coming because ongoing break-ins in my home. On my street, I am the only single woman. Everybody else homes have somebody to stay there every day. When I go to church, I come back. They've been in my home. When I go and take my son to the doctor, because they know when I leave, they're in my home. This has been going since 2015. I've been staying quiet. It have took a toll on me physically and mentally. When I go shopping, before I leave my house, I have to take certain things and put them in plastic bags, tie them up, so when they do come in, they have difficulty getting what they want. And it had taken a severe mental, physical bearing on me. One night I came home around about 9, and it's at the point I don't know if my neighbors are looking out for me or not, because this is the state of the abuse that I've been getting. It's like they're trying to force me to move, the techniques that they are doing. I came home one night, me and my son, I got out my car, a car pulled up in front of my house, turned on their lights, shined it on me. So first I thought, well, maybe they want to make sure I'm getting in the house safe. I goes in my house to get everything prepared. I come back, they still got their cars, they light shined on me. I walks over to the car and I asked them, is there anything you want? It was a female and a male. They didn't answer me. And they just stayed there and had their lights. So when I went to go and put my son in the house, I thought they were gonna leave. But they didn't. They sat out there for about 30 minutes. Well, it didn't make no sense of me calling the police because I know we have a police shortage. And I know if I would have called, by the time the police would have came, they would have been gone. I have been a faithful person here in Lancaster. I have tribute and gave to my community. Back in 1980, I forgot who the mayor was. They asked back in there, they asked the community if every person here could at least spend $134 a month to help our community to keep going. I joined in that participation. I've been doing it ever since.
Thank you.
This month, I spent $800 a month. I need help.
Ms. Hall, your time's up. Okay. Rod, could you talk to her afterwards, see what we can do to harden the target?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Before we close, anybody have anything cheerful, upbeat, exciting? Heather, anything?
A couple of successes that have happened in the past as far as the homeless stuff. We have done really well over the past 4 years to have a lot more resources in this area. If you look at a lot of the projects on Sierra Highway, one that's open and several that are in the process, we've made a lot of strides to creating solutions, permanent solutions, especially for families experiencing homelessness in the Antelope Valley.
Thank you. Anything? We good? Okay. The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, September 10, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. This meeting is adjourned, and thank you for coming.